The next presenter is Mario Herger. Mario is my first follower. I met him in San Francisco in 2012 when I just started my journey as an entrepreneur. He became my friend, and he was the first person to encourage me to start my own business. He was the head of innovation division at SAP Labs at the time. I couldn't afford joining his gamification workshop because it cost $2,000 at the time. So I invited him to come to Israel and run the workshop. And ever since 2012, he comes here every 6 months. I'm very proud to be his host today and invite him to the stage.
Thank you, Keren, for the night. Thank you, Keren, for these nice words and this welcome. Yes, I met Keren the first time when she had this idea of doing these kind of events. And now she's done that for over 3 years and with a good outcome. But I'm talking today about a little bit different things. Rachel Greenwald is a dating coach in New York. And she wrote a book from her experiences that was called Why He Didn't Call You Back. Her mostly female clients that she had this problem that they went online on dating websites and met these guys, and then they went out on the first date, and the second date, maybe on the third date. But after that, these guys just disappeared and did not call them back. Although the girls thought, wow, fantastic, this is a good guy, the date is going well, this is a good thing, maybe a long-term relationship is coming out there. Now, if this happens one time, you think, okay, well, this guy was probably not interested, yeah? Second time, well, this guy is probably too busy. But if this happens 5 times, 10 times, 2 years, you think, what's going on here? What's happening to me? So they came to Rachel, and Rachel did the following thing. She asked those girls for the last 5 dates, give me their contact information. And she did exit interviews with each of them. So an exit interview, for those of you who don't know that, in the business world, when an employee leaves a company, a good HR department does an exit interview. Because at this point, this employee doesn't have to fear any retribution or retaliation, so they can say the real reason why they leave the company. And the good HR department can then act on that. So that's what Rachel did with the dates. So she called over 1,000 guys, and figured out, after cutting through the polite bullshit, the guys gave her the real reasons. And the guys actually were also interested in long-term relationships, so they were not just out for sex there. It turns out that she could identify 15 clusters of reasons why those guys did not call back the girls. And she had asked the girls beforehand, what do you think were the reasons? And then she compared what the girls said versus what the guys said. Turns out that over 85% of the girls were wrong with the reasons. Basically, they didn't have any clue at all what was going on. And we're talking here about girls. Girls, as you know, are much better in understanding and analyzing people and relationships. They talk with their girlfriends, with others about that, while men are basically like this wall here in the back. Yeah? This wall is not thinking about the relationship to the floor. That's how guys are. Although the wall needs the floor to be erected. Now, when we are already so bad in that kind of sense, and while it is tragic for each of these women not to find a date or find a long-term partner, just think of it, how bad it is in other situations, like in corporate, if you don't understand behaviors and reasons and motivations, or how bad it is when we are looking at political situations, relationships between countries. I'll give you another example. In 1987, Paul O'Neill became the CEO of the American aluminum company called Alcoa. Now, Alcoa back then was in real trouble. Profit was down, shareholder value was down, management, labor union, employees, they were all in big conflicts, nothing was coming out there. So he looked at the situation and said, well, what could I do? I do something very different. And he said, we are going to focus on safety. We have so many accidents in the company. Safety becomes number one, the metric that we look at. And he told that to the investors and the shareholders. And they started asking, but what about profit? Are you not looking at profit? What are you going to plan to do there? And he said, I'm not interested in the profit. I'm looking at safety. Safety, we want to increase that. We want to decrease the safety, the accident rates. So there was a stampede out there of investors and of the shareholders and analysts, and they all gave, this guy's nuts, this guy's nuts, just sell all the shares that we have. Now what happened? Safety became a number one issue. So everyone was invited to look at safety issues. And then the first fatal accident under his rulership happened. The guy overstepped, was killed in this accident, horrible accident, and he took charge. The CEO, Paul O'Neill, took charge of the investigation and went in there and looked at that and asked everyone, why did management not stop him? Why did the supervisor not tell him not to do that? Why did the employee go over that? Why were the safety measurements so weak that he could die on that thing? And then everyone in the company realized, oh wow, this guy is really walking to talk. He really means it. Yeah? So we have to do something here. And everyone felt encouraged to do something and make suggestions. Because nobody wanted to be blamed for that, and everyone wanted to be safe, of course. That was the least common denominator for everyone. Now, what happened? While the people were talking about safety, they also started to talk about, and while we were talking about that, couldn't we just move the paint containers a little bit over there to the production thing so that we don't spend and waste so much time of transporting it around? And slowly, process improvements, innovations happened there, and the company became profitable, and the culture completely changed. So what we see here from these two examples is that we have not much knowledge about behaviors. We are not hearing about that. We're not learning about that. I was at two schools. I was at an engineering school and at a business school, and I had only one school. In one school, I did a 1-hour psychology or behavior class, which was called organizational psychology. And that is in the city of Vienna, which is the home of Sigmund Freud, who started all that stuff. Yeah? And the only thing that I remember from that time was Frederick Winslow Taylor, Taylorism. This is the guy basically, are you faster buttoning your shirt from top to the bottom or from bottom to the top? Whatever is faster and shaves off a second from your time that you consume, that's what we're going to do. That is the kind of medieval situation that we are with behavior in our modern world. So we need to teach that. Now, let me ask you, who of you likes to go to restaurants? Yeah? Who of you likes to go to bars or events like this? Everyone should actually raise their hand. Who of you likes to go to gas stations? Now, I'm interested, why are you interested in gas stations? What's so funny there? The smell, the people? Okay, she loves the smell. Okay, good. She's hooked. So let me show you an example of a lady going to a gas station and making it a very different experience. Sound? Okay, so I would have needed it actually immigrating because I was waiting 1 hour in the passport line and I would have needed such an idea of how to make it more fun. So what she did is she looked a little bit different at this situation. Yeah? She tried, what can I do here? How can I make it more fun or a challenge for myself? And that's what she did. So when we look now at games, yeah, games are actually teaching something like that. Then we maybe be able to do such boring situations or difficult situations easier. Games actually also do a lot of manipulation or modification in behaviors. And when we bring now the business world and the life together with games, then we may be having something. And that's what we call gamification. Gamification basically is what happens when business, life, and games have sex. And that's what we've seen here. So what do games give us, what the real world does not give us? So the real world gives us goals. This is also what games do. Games tell me rescue the princess, yeah? Then we have Super Mario. Or we have catch the king, that is chess, yeah? Or kill the pigs, and we have Angry Birds. So these are a couple of these goals. But they're not necessarily always direct, because in effect what we're doing is, in Angry Birds, it actually is swipe from right to left 1,000 times. Yeah? From your side, basically, that's how it looks like. Nobody's saying that. Paul O'Neill didn't say increase profit. He said, let's look at safety. And indirectly, he also achieved this kind of stuff. With the Rachel Greenwald clients, there were, if you're just interested, one of these 15 clusters of why the guys did not call back was that some of these girls came with a kind of a mental checklist or a real checklist to the dates, yeah? And asking, you know, what's your income? What's your IQ? Do you have any genetic diseases in the family? So the guys felt like interviewing for donating to a sperm bank. And that turned them off, surprisingly. Now let's take a look at golf and then the video. And golf is actually a game. What's the goal of golf? Put the ball in the hole, right? Looks like a fun game? Not really. So what we do is we put in more problems, more obstacles in that. We say a rule that says you can only do that with a stick club. Yeah? We put the hole 50 yards from here, and then we put rocks in between, lakes in between, sand bunkers, trees, hills, and all this stuff, and suddenly it's fun. Now let's take a look at how somebody does that in a different way, puts a challenge in there, and this is about frying shrimps. You don't need to understand Japanese, you just watch the video of how they solve the problem of frying shrimps in 3 seconds.
3秒クッキング。今日はエビフライです。3秒でできる作り方を紹介します。材料はエビ6尾。では移動します。これをつけてください。卵はあらかじめ溶いて入れます。小麦粉は入れすぎに注意してください。エビは丁寧にレーンに入れます。あとはボタンを押してください。美味しいでしょ？おさらいです。ご自宅で行う場合は十分ご注意ください。明日は3秒餃子です。
Okay, so just invent something for shakshuka and I don't know, schnitzel, yeah? And then tell me later and show me the video how you did it. Games are not only giving us goals in an indirect way, but also they're giving us feedback, how well we're doing. We know it right now how we are doing, and not 3 months later that we killed the pigs. We know it right now. They also give us experiences or give us the opportunities to experience things from a different perspective. For example, failure. Games are actually nothing else than successions of failure. Yeah? We lose, we die, we crash the car, but we are not stopping. We are starting again. And failure is actually a learning experience. Games also allow us to experience the world from a different perspective of a person. Like, I may be the security guard for a bank and have to defend the bank, but in reality, I'm maybe more creative figuring out of how to break into a bank when I'm the robber, yeah? And that helps then a security guy. And another one, and the last one example that I want to bring is rewards. Games are giving us rewards, and not just points, yeah? Who's playing Angry Birds just for getting points? Nobody, yeah? They give us other rewards, namely that we are showing our mastery, that we're learning something, that we're playing together with people. It's basically the intrinsic motivations. But if I give you extrinsic motivators, and Professor Ariely has shown that in his experiments of how rewards, tangible rewards, can wreak havoc with people's performances, yeah? The higher the reward, basically the worse the performance. That is something that we have to consider, and we still think rewards are so fantastic and great. Now, rewards are not only wreaking havoc with people, but also with animals, and this is another video that I have.
So that's the experiment we did. Recently we videotaped it with new monkeys who had never done the task, thinking that maybe they would have a stronger reaction, and that turned out to be right. The one on the left is a monkey who gets cucumber. The one on the right is the one who gets grapes. The one who gets cucumber, note that the first piece of cucumber is perfectly fine. The first piece she eats. Then she sees the other one getting grape, and you will see what happens. So she gives a rock to us, that's the task. And we give her a piece of cucumber and she eats it. The other one needs to give a rock to us. And that's what she does. And she gets a grape. And she eats it. The other one sees that. She gives a rock to us now, gets again cucumber. She tests the rock now against the wall. She needs to give it to us. And she gets cucumber again. So this is basically the Wall Street protest that you see here.
So gamification is basically the vehicle that we have to bring behavior science, motivational theories, and game theories into the corporate world to spread the knowledge about how behaviors work to the larger world. So I see that as a great future that we have here. Now, what have we learned today? We have learned that we don't know anything about behaviors, really. Yeah, we are not really being taught about that. We should be taught about that. And the way to do that is through gamification, through a playful approach of looking at that kind of thing. And if you haven't learned anything, at least the girls have learned that girls have learned, if you want to go dating, make it playful and fun, and don't treat the guys like a tornado for the sperm bank. Thank you very much.